I'm going to make a real issue of this year, this trashing of Australia, because it's already blowing up in our face now. Today, another example, and from Woolworths, would you believe, after just defending them. How woke is this? Last year it campaigned for The Voice, should have learned a lesson. Now it's announced that it's not going to sell any Australia Day merchandise in store. And this is not just a commercial decision. It's also political, because it says, yes, there's been a gradual decline in demand for Australia Day merchandise from our stores over recent years. At the same time, there's been a broader discussion about January 26 and what it means to different parts of the community. Joining me again this year is Sophie Elsworth, media writer for the Australian newspaper. Sophie, thanks for your time. Lovely to see you again. Why does Woolworths let shoppers who are against Australia Day stop it from selling Australia Day merchandise to people who are all for it?
Well, as you said, Andrew, they're claiming that this is a commercial decision and also with the animosity towards January 26, they think this is a smart decision. But as you reminded viewers, they were the supermarket that threw their, or Big W, owned by the same company, threw their support behind The Voice and were putting announcements over, their loudspeakers in the lead up to The Voice, showing their support, and that to pull that. Are they not listening? Did they not notice that a majority of Australians voted no to The Voice? And there are a lot of Australians who do want to celebrate Australia Day. So what's the harm in putting a few items on a shelf and letting us as the shoppers make our own decisions whether we want to buy some Australia Day merchandise or not, Andrew?
Exactly correct. I think they're just out of touch with their audience. I think it must be the ponytails in marketing who are running that joint. But Sophie, I rang you with this news. I said, let's talk about this tonight. You were standing in a Coles supermarket. What did you find there?
I was, Andrew. I mean, the timing was brilliant. So I was in my local Coles supermarket. I went up to the manager and asked her. I couldn't find any Australia Day merchandise. I asked her if they'd be selling it. She was very polite but slightly awkward. She called over another staff member and they said, oh, we don't think we're getting any Australia Day merchandise. You'll have to try another Coles. Seemed very bizarre. Mind you, I do live in the electorate of Goldstein that has voted massively yes. So I looked online, Andrew, the Coles website. Don't get too worried. They're selling koala face masks and echidna serviettes. So there's still some hope for us, I guess, Andrew, if you want to try and celebrate Australia Day.
Well, I feel almost a moral duty to go down to my local Coles in the next town and buy out big on echidna serviettes or whatever it was. But to the media, Sophie, the ABC this week admitted it was wrong for an ABC reporter who's Muslim to publish this ABC TikTok video promoting, in my opinion, a boycott of all Israeli products. Here she is.
Notice anything about this fridge? There's no Coke, Fanta or Sprite, and that's a very deliberate choice.
I've worked out that I was spending close to 40 to 50 grand a year on just Israeli and American products. I've been in the boycotting of those products now for just under 2 months.
Oz is one of many people taking part in the Palestinian-led boycott divestment scheme, which is a movement that lists brands that supporters of Palestinians are discouraged from buying from because they have some sort of tie to Israel, according to BDS, whether it's donating money or associating with certain people.
Now, I note, by the way, that this ABC reporter, an Australian, actually identifies as Palestinian in her ABC bio. Does, Sophie, the ABC seem properly sorry that it publishes rabid anti-Israeli incitement?
Well, Andrew, this is sort of typical of the ABC, because what tends to happen in these situations is you and I both know is complaints flood in, they take down the content, we write a story, and then they sort of go, oh, we're kind of sorry, but not sorry. What I want to know is how this got published. It shouldn't matter whether the reporter is Palestinian or not, but that report that went on TikTok was so one-sided. It had no refuting arguments. It was so biased. I want to know how that actually got through the checkpoints. Don't forget, ABC have about 4,000 staff. They've got plenty of people on the ground there to go, we should not publish this. We should check it before it publishes. So again, they fixed it up. They republished it. They've turned the comments off the TikTok video, Andrew, but I don't really think this is good enough from the public broadcaster. This just keeps happening time and time again.